So essentially, you kind of have three brains from an evolutionary perspective. Of course, they are all integrated, but they evolved over time. So we start off with that blue part of your brain, which is the brain stem, also referred to as the reptilian brain. It was the first part of your brain to evolve. It is an unconscious, unthinking part of the brain. It is responsible essentially for the actions that keep you alive. If you have sustained damage to your brainstem, as we all know, sort of from watching programs like ER, you're really screwed. You're going to die unless you have access to a life support machine. And that's because that part of your brain looks after your breathing, your heart rate, your blood pressure, your digestion. You don't ever have to think about those things. The next part of the brain to evolve, I've colored it pink here, is the limbic system, and often people refer to it as the emotional brain because it is the structures within that part of the brain are involved in emotion production, also involved in the stress response, the fear response, the fight or flight response, but also there's a structure in there called the hippocampus, which plays a critical role in learning and memory, and is very vulnerable to brain fog and also actually to dementia. And it's also the part of the brain that is involved or responsible for our unconscious biases. You would have to turn the brain upside down to see that part of the brain. And again, it is an unconscious, unthinking part of the brain. It is reflexive rather than conscious and reflective. The last part of the brain to evolve is, I've colored it green here, but it's the part of the brain we generally think about when we think of a brain, that crinkly part, which really is an exercise in IKEA style space saving. You know, if you were to roll out your brain, it would be meters long, but these crinkles that you see on it are ways to fit more brain inside our small skulls. So basically, this part of your brain is involved in all those activities that separate us in a way from our closest relatives and from other mammals, and what have allowed us to excel as a species in a way. And that's thinking, language, decision making, planning, complex thought, a lot of the things that are impacted by brain fog.